Okay, let's get started. So today, all of you start your Jupyter servers. From start menu, type Jupyter and hit enter. It will automatically runs a Jupyter server in offline like this, and it will open a respected browser like this. I have a browser like this, and here itself it will open a Jupyter tree location, and there itself you need to open your folder. Whatever you created a folder for this entire workshop, you need to enter, you need to go through that folder. Okay, so try to open it. So I'm in the location of desktop. So when you start your Jupyter, you will get location like this. From there you have to click on desktop, and then you need to choose your folder. Whatever you created in the yesterday session, you need to just click on that folder. So I have a folder like APSDC online classes. Inside this I have again another batch. Here you need to create a new folder, because in the yesterday session we are already creating a new folder for day 2, right? So for every day you need to create a new folder, because it going to be properly organized, so that you will refer after the class also easily. Okay, for organizing very neatly, I'm going to create a everyday folder. Okay, so try to create a folder itself. So you are already aware about this, how to creating a folder and all this. So in the right side there is a options called new. Just click on that new and then choose folder, and try to rename this folder by selecting it. And I'm going to rename it like day 3, and then with corresponding date 2021. Inside this I'm going to mention the topic whatever we covered, Python operators. Okay, so this is the my folder, and try to rename it. See, it's going to be renamed successfully, and try to open this folder, and here you need to create a new Python 3. So try to click on Python 3, which we can observe from new on the right side, on the right side. Just click on Python 3, and it will open a new tab like this. Okay, here you can find out a untitled. That means whenever you start a new Python 3, it will ask you a file name to change it. So try to change the file name also. So defaultly it is an untitled. So try to change it from here. I'm going to change the file name as Python operators. So today concept is about Python operators. So I'm going to change my file name as Python operators, and just click on rename, and it will update it successfully like this. So are you guys following up to this? Respond me in the chat box. So you are already you have already aware about all this, creating a folder and running a new Python 3 notebook. That's why I'm going a little bit faster. What about rest of them? I have only 10 responses in my chat box. See, after starting your Jupyter, you need to create a new folder. So we are already creating a folder in the desktop. So try to open the folder from itself. So after opening it, try to open the folder from your desktop. I have a folder like this. So in your folder, try to create a new folder for today's date. Okay, I'm already creating with day 3, 19, and then corresponding topic, and open that folder by clicking on it. And here you need to start a new Python 3 notebook. New Python 3 notebook, and it will open like this. And after opening, you need to rename this untitled file. So I'm just changing the file name as Python operators. Try to rename it. So that's what here we are doing up to now. Am I clear up to this? See, whoever having a problem with this, all this, try to message me in the chat box, so that the rest of team members, our trainers, will helpful. Okay. Okay, thank you. So let's get started. So in the markdown, we have 2 more concepts left. So try to complete it, and after that we will move ahead with Python basic operators and Python basics. Let's get started. So what the topics are: inserting mathematical formulas, in Markdown. So if you want to make a heading, you need to pass two hashes, right? So after the hashes, you need to pass space. Then only it will consider as in a Markdown syntax. Otherwise, it will just a comment line. Okay. So I need to make a heading like inserting mathematical formulas in Markdown. And after that, so for that, you need to follow a syntax like a dollars. You can make mathematical functions with the help of starting with the dollars and also ending with dollar. Okay, you need to convert this cell into Markdown. So defaultly here it is a code. So instead of selecting from here, you can use shortcuts. Selecting the cell and type escape M. So type escape M. Instead of selecting here, instead of selecting Markdown from here, you need to select the cell and give a shortcut like escape M. It will automatically turns the entire cell into Markdown. Now you can observe the cell is in the format of Markdown. So now whatever the formulas you need to pass it in the Markdown, you need to use the symbol syntax as dollars. Okay, in between you can place your mathematical formulas. Okay, let's try it out. So I'm just mentioning here as a syntax. Okay, for that syntax is dollars. So there is a starting dollar and also you need to end that formula with dollar only. Then only in between the text is considered as formula only. So let's try to run this by selecting if I want to. So you are already aware about the basic formulas, a mathematical formulas. So tell me what is the basic formula you have remember up to now? So you are aware about that basic mathematical formulas, right? So let me know what are the basic mathematical formulas you have learned. Yes, a plus b whole square. And what else we have? Okay, let's try. So I'm going to import the mathematical formula like so whenever I want to import a mathematical formula, I can use dollars, right? So in between that, I'm going to mention my formula. So a plus b whole square. So when you want to define a to the power, you need to use cap symbol here. So cap symbol is equals to a square plus. So it is a to the power of value. So to mention that to the power, you can use cap symbol. A square plus b square plus 2ab. This is the mathematical formula for we have in maths like a plus b whole square equals to a square plus b square plus 2ab or else a square plus 2ab plus b square. So this is what we have a basic formula, right? And I'm going to import some other basic formula like y equals to mx plus c, right? So y equals to m into x into x plus c. B equals to mx plus c. This is the basic formula we have. So it is mandatory to pass the to the power of value. We can use a cap symbols. Okay. So these cap symbols, two cap symbols represents f to the power of value. So single cap means it's just like a normal text. It will not consider as a to the power of value. So whenever you want to do a kind of to the power of values operations, you can use double caps. This is the inbuilt and predefined function in Python. And try to run this cell. For running, you can use shift run. So now you can observe entire the formulas is converted as a one kind of mathematical functions. We have whatever like that. What else we if I mention single square, let's observe. A plus b whole square. So for single cap also it will works fine. What else? What if I have cast two caps? Let's observe. So yes, you need to take single cap only. It's not two caps. Sorry for that. Okay. Whenever you pass single cap only, you will get correct formula like this. See, try to observe the syntax. So whenever you want to pass it like this, here you need to pass hyphen and then space. So whatever the description you need to pass for this heading here, you can mention a hyphen or plus or dots, or you can use anything. So for describing something, I can use hyphen here. After hyphen, you need to pass some kind of space. So that only it will take a kind of ordered list or some kind of random text. So try to observe the syntax here. So here the syntax to define a description is hyphen. You can use any kind of marks, like in the place of hyphen, you can use plus, you can use star, you can use dot also. Okay. And for this, the syntax is to follow to inserting mathematical function, you can use dollars at the starting, at the ending. Okay. So I'm implementing with two formulas, a basic like this. And now when I use single dollar, I can get the formula at the starting cell only, at the starting position of the cell only. I need to change it, and I want to get my formula in the center of my cell. I need to change my position of the formula at the center to the cell. So I can use $2. So $2. So and I'm going to convert this cell into markdown. And in between that, I'm going to paste a basic formula, whatever we have, like a plus b whole square. Let's try to copy it, or you can type any other formula also and try to run this cell again. Now you can observe that this formula is placed at the center of the cell. Okay. So by using $2, I'm going to mention it here. For inserting formula at the center of cell, you can use $2. And then in between there is something, and again you can end with $2, so that the respected formula is assigned in the center of the cell like this. Okay, so when I use hashes here for making this sentence, when I convert this cell into markdown, the symbols cannot be represented, only in between the thing only represented, displayed. That's why I'm just convert this cell as a raw NB convert. It's a kind of text, whatever we mentioned, the syntax that will be not changed when you place this cell into a raw NB convert. So that I can select this cell as raw NB convert, and I'm going to run it. So you can get these symbols along the syntax also. Now you can, so whenever you want to do practically, you can use $2 at the starting and also ends with $2. And in between, whatever the formula you want, you can place it and try to convert the cell into markdown and run it. Now you can observe this formula is centered at the center of the cell. Like this, you can insert your formulas in markdown. Yes, so if you want to mention that parenthesis also, for that we need to follow some kind of deep markdown syntaxes. But when you see this, it will simply understandable by the users. Instead of passing parenthesis also, we can figure it out. It is a formula related to a plus b. So, but if you want to keep that parenthesis also in the place of a plus b whole square like this, you should know the background inbuilt markdown syntaxes. So that is huge. That's why I'm not going to. So if you got it, that's fine. So if you want to got that also, you place the parenthesis. That's it. Then only you will get, I think so. Yes, you can keep the parenthesis in the formula also. Okay, like this, you can place it so that the parenthesis also come getting you. Now, so for inserting all these formulas, we should know how it going to be happen background. So for inserting all these formulas, the background, it will take one kind of default syntaxes, that is LaTeX. So it is a kind of mathematical representation language. So with this LaTeX library, we can use this LaTeX library to import these formulas into Markdown cell. So LaTeX is a one kind of displaying function to display the formulas in Markdown. So if you want to know about this, just type LaTeX for Python in browser. So LaTeX for Python. Now you can find out a similar answers why you can use LaTeX means like LaTeX is a Python library for creating or compiling LaTeX documents or inserting mathematical functions. So okay, it's a kind of LaTeX. LaTeX is a one kind of library to display a Python formulas in Python language. So when I use pypy.org, it will tells you the syntax. Don't bother about that. So you just go through that. The LaTeX is a displaying. It is a Python library to display statistical formulas in Markdown. Okay, with the help of this LaTeX only, we're going to display all these formulas in the correct format. So whatever we have in the formulas, you need to define that as usual. You can use LaTeX. So this operation is automatically called when you use this Jupyter, because it will have inbuilt libraries. When you call the syntax with the help of Markdown with starting with $2 or $1, it will automatically call this LaTeX library and display that entire code as a formula format. Like this, it will be executed. Okay, now let's see the next concept. So inserting ordered list and unordered list, it is very important. I forgot to tell you in yesterday. Ordered list in Markdown. Let's make a heading as ordered list. So ordered list means whatever the data you have passed, that should be followed by order. So for that, you can mention a numbers. So I'm just passing one dot. You can mention anything. So I'm going to mention as Python. You can take any kind of random text. It's not mandatory, but you have to see the syntax is after one there is a one dot, there is a space. After two dot there is a space. So try to pass anything, whatever you want. Three dot and C. And now I need to pass suborder also. Inside this C, I need to pass some kind of text again. Okay, let's define again. And inside this 4, I have to create something again subclass so that I can use a tab space here. I'm using a tab space here after this. So after this, I am passing again one dot APSSDC engineering and the APSSDC poly degree. Again, I'm going to create the main order like Django. Okay. You can create a ordered list like this. Now try to run this cell by converting into a markdown. Escape M. Just run it. Now you can get the data, whatever the data you have passed, that can followed by order, like after 1 there is a 2, after 2 there is a 3. So likewise it will automatically assign the numbers. So whatever you passed in the sublist, it will automatically generates with the alphabets like A and then B. Like this you can generate an ordered list in Markdown. Okay. And here you need to mention one thing, that is you have to take a tab space while defining a sublist. So it is a tab list. You don't pass manual space here. You need to take a tab space. That's mandatory. Yes, I'm going to explaining that. So in some cases, we don't want the numbers. That means we don't want ordered list. We want some kind of symbols only, or that means unordered list. So for defining unordered list, you can take unordered list, inserting unordered list in Markdown. Let's make a heading, unordered list in Markdown. So for that, you can take the symbols like hyphen or plus or star. You can take any kind of thing. So after hyphen, there is a space and you can mention whatever you have. I'm just passing CSC and Z and then triple E. And inside this, I want to mention subclass, so that sublist, so that I can use tab space here and then again use plus here, and I'm using triple E hyphen A plus triple E hyphen B. Again, I'm coming back here. I'm going to use star here, and I'm mentioning APSSDC. And inside the subclass, inside the sublist, I'm passing again hyphen APSSDC hyphen A, APSSDC hyphen B. So here I can take some kind of tab space, and here also I'm passing some tab space, so that the list will follow some. It will automatically assign a bullets like this. So you need to convert this cell into Markdown, otherwise you will get errors like this. Now you can observe all these are assigned some kind of bullets, or it will assign automatically some kind of symbols like bullets in your documents. So for pass, instead of numbers, if you want to assign the text as in the ordered or unordered format, you can use symbols like hyphen or star or plus. Okay. So if you are not getting all alphabets while creating sublist, means you can get a random number. Random number means Roman number specification also you will get. Other than alphabets, you will get something, but you need to focus on sublist format. So you are getting sublist or not, nothing but here I'm passing APSDC engineering in the sublist of in the main list of APSDC. That means in the 4, it will consider as a 4.1. So you need to observe that one. Instead of focusing on A, B or Roman numbers, you have to observe this is a main list, and while getting the output, I have some tab space in between that, so that I can get clarity like this APSDC engineering is a sublist of APSSDC. You have to consider like that. Okay. So are you guys completed up to this? Respond me in the chat box.
Ma'am, can you show the output for order list?
Yes, I'm going to run this. Now I can get like this. So
Thank
whatever I
you.
pass sublist, that will be generated with the help of alphabets or Roman numbers also. That's not an issue. See, if I change the order also, if I change here as a 5 and here as a 10, it will automatically generate the order. That's what the order list generates. Now you can observe I'm changing this 4 as a, this APSDC number as a 5, and last one is a 110. But when I run this, it will automatically generate the order, because we are using the first one as a number, so that it will automatically generate the number with respect to that starting number. Try to run this. Now you can observe it will automatically generate the order. Like that order list is executed in Markdown. So if you are not getting the output in the line by line means, try to see the syntax once. So try to see the syntax once, that is like this. While creating a sublist, you need to pass a tab space. It is tab space. You just click a tab from your keyboard while typing this. So that only you will get a correct format. Otherwise, it will just generate it like a line, single line code. Okay. Try to run that cells again by changing the tab space, and after dot, don't forget to pass the space. There is a space after dot. And here also after hyphens or plus and stars, you need to specify a space. Then only we'll get a color highlightation also. This color is highlighted with respect to that spaces only. So try to observe all those things and let me know if you are getting or not. And I'm going to run these cells again. Like this you will get.
Some difference between ordered and unordered. Can you tell me, please?
Yes, when you see this ordered means it will follow the order. If you want to specify the order also, it will automatically generate the order. You can observe I'm passing for APSDC, the number is 5. But after 3, it will automatically generate the 4 when you run the output. And here if you see for the last one, it is 110. I'm specifying 110, but when I run the output, it will generate the default serial numbering. Like 4, after that the main list is 5. That is the main difference. If you are using first number as a number, with respect to that number, it will automatically generate the serial numbering. It will generate the order. When you see this unordered, in some cases we don't need numbers. We just need bullets only, or we just represent with the symbols. So that in such cases you can use hyphens or star or plus, so that it will automatically generate the output like a dots or squares, circles like this. That is the main difference in order and unorder. Okay. Are you clear up to this, all of you?
Ma'am, we are not getting the color, ma'am.
You are not getting the color, but can you get the output
Yeah,
as
yes, ma'am,
like
I
me?
got that. Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's fine. If you are not highlighted like a color, that's not a problem. Try to observe the output. If you are getting the output,
Okay.
that's not an issue. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, that's it about the markdown. Let's get started the Python. So we are already seeing what is Python and who are developed the Python and in the year and versions. We are already seen yesterday. See the markdown. Please say, can you display any color using markdown? I didn't get your question, Naga Prashanti. Pavani Naga Prashanti. That means when you type a markdown, it will automatically highlight your colors based on the spaces or based on the syntaxes. It will automatically generate the color. That's not user defined. The markdown guide will follow the syntax like that. So we are not generating the default colors. It will automatically generate the colors so that we cannot change it. Okay. Okay. Now let's start. The Python is a object-oriented, high-level, general-purpose programming language developed by whom? Who developed the Python? And what is the year?
Guido van Rossum.
Yes, good, Pawan. And in the year of 1991. Okay, good. So we are going to see the Python basics like Python operators and Python keywords and how to take a dynamical input. So we are already seeing some kind of properties in Python, right? So Python supports dynamical typing and also uh, polymorphism and also inbuilt data types. So it will support so many properties. We have already seen all the properties in yesterday. So let's implement one by one by starting the by continuing the session with starting of Python basics. So first of all, you need to know, so what are the data types, the basic data types we have in Python. So let's make a heading like data types in Python. Data types in Python. So basically we have a data types in Python is, we are already discussed in yesterday, right? So can you respond me? What are the data types we have in the Python?
Int, float,
Okay. When you take the data types as numbers, we have int, float, and complex, right? And when you
String.
take the data types as string, it is a immutable. And we have fixed data types or inbuilt data types like list and tuple and dictionary, and what else we have? Sets
Set.
and etc. So all these are inbuilt data types we have. And let's see all these data types and try to convert this cell into markdown. Okay. So for if you want to know what data types we have, you should know how to define your data types with respect to one particular object. That means, so you should know which one you have to choose to define the data types. Okay. So for that, how can you define your data types? Or else, what is the main thing we have to focus to describe the data? When the topics comes like data, you need to know one and most important thing. What was that? Just assume yourself and let me know. When you have a data, you need to describe it. So what you need to choose when you do your programming? You need to define a data, right? You need to store it or you need to keep it so that only you can do operations. So what is the thing we have to choose for that? Yes, defining types is a kind of data types, but if you want to know the data types that can support, what we need to take first? Yes, absolutely. You need to specify object or variable. You need to specify object or variable. Then only we can store, and with that stored data only we can specify is that related to numbers or strings or some other data types, right? Yes. Let's see how the variables are defined in Python and what are the constraints we have to define it. Let's note it down all this. So okay, so to you can call these variables. So you can call these variables are identifiers or variables or object. When you take a Python as a language, you can call it as object or identifiers or variables. Basically, all the humans are familiar with the term called variable. So this variable is nothing but to store what it have. The variable. So the variable is having some kind of data, right? So what it is stored? So it depends upon the user. Whatever we pass, that can be stored by the variable. So basically, give me a minute. I got a call. Sorry for the inconvenience. Give me a minute. I will be back within a second. Okay, so why we can use the variables and means basically you need to store the data. So for storing, we can use variables as a key role, right? So that only we can call it, and so that only we can do a operations. So for this variable, we can use some other names like identifiers or objects. When you choose the Python, you can call it as identifiers or else objects. So in the Python, everything is an object only because Python is an object-oriented language. So it is a valid name in Python, which it is gives to variables or functions, classes, methods, modules, packages. So finally, the variable is for to store the data or it have some kind of data. That's it. And to define a variable, we need to follow some constraints here. To define a variable, we need to follow some kind of constraints here. Constraints are properties. Let's make it as simple. Properties of identifiers. So the first foremost property is the variable. So basically you are from electronics background or CSE background. So you might know about how to define a variables. So what are the constraints do you think to create a variable? Let me know in the chat box. When you define a variable, what you have a property that can offer in variable. Yes, starts with alphanumeric or alphabet. Yes, examples like x1, x2, and there is no spaces. Okay, one good response. No special characters. Should not start with a number. Yes, all these are constraints. Let's make a note here also. Show starts with alphanumerics. That means it is a combination of alphabets and also numbers. And it can starts with only alphabets also. Starts with alphabets. And should not starts with numbers. And should not starts with special characters. Should not starts with special characters. And the next one is should starts with, can starts with. It's not should, it's not a must and should. It can also starts with underscore. Okay, and also there is no spaces. Should not allow spaces. These are all the constraints we have when you're going to create a variable. So try to make a note all this. Okay, with this we are going to create a variable. Okay, so for this you can create a variable by using all these properties. Let's start with one basic variable name. You can take any variable name. So you can pass any kind of variable name, like whatever you have, like x1 and x2 or else your name. Okay, all these things. But that variable name should not starts with the number and should not starts with special character like dollar or underscore and star. All these are special characters, right? So you cannot start the variable name with these special characters. Yes, you shouldn't be use keyword inbuilt keywords also. So in the Python we have already a inbuilt keywords, so you cannot use that also. That is also main one. Shouldn't not let's make it shouldn't support. Shouldn't not starts. Shouldn't be keyword. Python. Like, so we have totally 35 keywords in Python. So like is, in, not, like this. So it's not starts with all this. Okay. So you can use the alphabet creation, all these properties, and you can use uppercase letters, lowercase letters as well, your wish. Okay, let's take one variable like x. I'm going to take one random variable that is defined as x. For me, it is x. You can choose whatever you want. Okay, I'm taking x as my variable here. I can store a kind of data like a string. So in the Python, you can define, you can create a variable by storing the data like a string. Means you need to pass double quotes or single quote. Okay, I'm just passing a double quote like APSSDC. What it describes. So when you see this, you can easily understand. It is a kind of variable, and we are going to assign, we are going to store that variable with corresponding this data. Okay, that is APSSDC. Finally, this APSSDC data is a string because it is defined as a double quotes, so that it is considered as a string, and finally it's going to be stored in the variable of x with the help of this equivalent operator. Okay, equal operator. So that's what the here happened. Now finally, if you want to print this x, you can use print x, so that it will be print. Otherwise, you can simply pass x also. Instead of passing x, print function, you can directly call this x also. Okay, and now if you want to know the type that they have, you can use print of. Type is an inbuilt method that can offered by Python. So whenever you want to know the type of that variable, you can use type. Whatever the data type that supports, if you want to know about that, you can use the inbuilt data type inbuilt method, that is type. When you call this type method, it will tells you that x stored data. Whatever the data that the x have, it will tells you the data type by calling this as a type of x. Okay, now if I run this, what is my expected output? What is my expected output?
String.
Yes, it is only string, because we are storing this x with the APSSDC string by defining as a code, so that it will be stored data as a string only. So if you want to know about that, you can just type, you can pass a type, so that it will display a type of that data that can stored by x. See, now you can get str. Str means it's a kind of data stored by x is string. Okay, and you can observe it is a inbuilt class of string. So you will get to know what are these classes and all these things when the concepts came like oops. So now if I want to add some more data to this x, you can add it. So see, if I want to add again some new data to this is, you can add it like x plus. While adding, you can use plus operator. Like in the normal way, whatever we think in our normal general way, you can do a programming like this in Python. So because it is a user friendly, that's why repeat. What do you want to repeat me, Nagalakshmi? These type are from the starting itself, defining the variable.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, I didn't get the output of x, ma'am.
Can you define it like this? After defining, try to run this. When you run this cell, you will get a number for running cell, every cell.
Ma'am, can you show that
Like
once
I'm
again?
getting 3 as my in. Yes, I'm displaying that cell only. So try to see my screen again. So after typing anything, you need to run the cell, otherwise it will not store the data. Don't forget to run the cell. So see, I'm going to explain it again because first year students also have in this meeting. So whoever already know, don't hesitate, because some people might not understand it. That's why I'm going to explain it again. So who already aware about this, all the basics, don't get hesitate. So try to do some other work or try to implement with your own text or do some kind of test. Okay. So here I'm just taking variable as x, and I'm passing some random text as APSDC. And when you take a group of characters, you get passed with the string only in Python. Okay. After storing it, I need to know what is my x having, so I can use print, or else I can simply call x. Both result is same. Now you can observe here also APSDC got getting, and here also I'm getting APSDC one. You can pass print, or else you can uh, type it directly as a x only. After that, I want to know what are the data type that can stored by x. I need to know so that I can use type. So this type is nothing but it is a inbuilt method which can offered by Python. Because why we are using Python means Python has so many inbuilt methods. So to reduce the user complexity, we can use Python inbuilt methods. So here we have an inbuilt method to know the inbuilt data type. To know the data type that can have, we can use type. Okay, so type of x. So I need to print it, so I can use print. So directly I'm getting the type of that x having, like it is a string. That is what here the execution is done. Or else you can use simply type of x also. Instead of typing x, print of type of x, you can simply type of x. That is also work fine. Okay, both are same. Instead of printing like print of type of x, you can type directly type of x. It will also executed line by line, so you don't need to pass print also. It's not mandatory. Okay. See, it's not user defined output. Here in this cell 4 cell, when I run my, instead of passing print, when I run x directly, it will generate the output in the format of single quotes. Means it is a string data. That's why I'm getting quotes. But when you pass this x to the print statement, it will not generate the quotes. But defaultly that might also having quotes. But that didn't visualize to you. It doesn't display to you. But defaultly that APSDC also having some kind of quotes, because whenever you use print it will not display the quotes, but whenever you use default x directly then print, it will define the quotes along. That's not make the any kind of difference. Okay. Yes, you can use this print of x or type of x or in any kind of versions, either Python 2, Python 3, anything. In Python ideally also it can work same. Okay. Okay, let's see. I need to add some more text to my x, so I can use x plus. So I need to add more. So I can use add operator like plus. So if I want to add some kind of numeric like 34, can I add it? Do you think can you add integers along with strings? Is that possible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If it is possible, how can you add? How can it is possible? Can you add A, B, C along with the 1, 2, 3 number? It's not possible because it is a group of characters, and here it is a 1, 2, 3 or integers, so we cannot concat them. It's not possible. So if I run x plus 34, I'm getting error. So try to observe the error here. It is a type error. What it described, it is a type error. What it is means, so whatever the data we have passed to that x, it's not same type, because x is having our a type of string, because x is having a type of string, but we are passing integers to that string to concat. That's why we are getting an error, that is type error, and you can observe the respected explanation in the below. can only concat string, not int. So can only concat string with string only, but not integer. That is the error we are getting. Okay, that means whenever you want to add a string data with a string only, it's possible. It's not possible with the integer because it's not taking. It is not possible. Now if I pass x plus some kind of Python, I need to add some more data with my x, so I can use x plus Python. Now what I'm getting is it is correct to add x along with the string of Python? Can it is possible, or do you get any kind of errors? Instead of running the cell, try to understand by your own and apply it. Yes, it's possible. Why it is possible?
Concatenating.
Yes, it's concatenating.
Same time.
Yes, we have
Both the
only
string.
both strings because in the X also
It's
we
a
have
string.
and we are concatenating some new text as also string. That's why it's going to be worked fine and we will get the output with concatenation like this, APSDC along with Python. If you want to add a space, you can add it by passing space in defining string itself. Now you will get the space also considering because we are concatenating Python with passing some space at the starting. Okay, can you understand the difference here for the 8th, 7th cell and 9th cell? Why x cannot be added with the 34 and why x is added with Python string? Can you understand the difference, all of you? Because it is very important. Who are not getting it, try to ask me because you should know basics as much as you. So that only you will get more clarity while doing so many practical sessions upcoming what we offer. See, whenever you have a string data, you can add that string data with another string data only because it both are same data types. Whenever you have a same data only, it's going to be added or concatenated easily. And it's not support with another type. Like whenever you have a string data, but you need to add that string data with integer means it cannot be possible. That's why here we are getting error because x is having integer but x is having string, but when you add that string with integer it cannot be possible. That's why we are getting type error. But here we are getting a result because x is also we are having string, that is APSDC, and we are adding that APSDC string again with another string like Python. That's why we are getting the result. This is the basic difference between this operation and this operation. Whenever you have a same data types only, you can add it. Yes, you can define this 34 with the colons, then only it will again possible. See, if I pass x plus in the quotes of 34, now it is working or not? When I pass x plus 34, if you add space, we will get error. So it will not raise an error. When you add space here in the Python, whatever you mention in the codes, that will simply consider as a characters only, string only. So it will add it successfully when you pass the space also in the double quotes. Now you can observe x plus 34 and I want to add this 34 my x data. So I can mention this 34 in the quotes. Is this correct way to add it? Can you define this 34 like this also? Is there any other constraints? Can you define it or not? Is that correct way or we cannot define it?
We can define.
Yes, we can define it because sometimes in Python 3 version in basically in 2020 after 2020 plus, so the Python can take the input only in the format of string only, like input method. So we will discuss it later. So whenever you have a option like that, some cases we want to take only integer input like enter a number. They in such cases you need to pass the integer only. So how can you do that? So if you have only input taking option like string only, but you need to take the input as a integer, in such cases the input method cannot work. so that we have an option. So whatever the data you can mention like in the quotes, you can consider that entire thing as a string only. That's what the function. You can define it anything inside the string, not only this, and you can define along with the group of characters also. Now finally, I need to add this string with some kind of X. So I can add it successfully because you don't keep on your mind on this content. You just focus on type. So whatever you mention in the double quotes or single quotes, that will be considered as a string. So in between that strings, in between that quotes, you can mention whatever you want. It doesn't depend. It's only numbers. It doesn't only numbers. It doesn't only strings. You can take any kind of manual text. Okay. Yes, you can pass special characters also. That's what I think. I told you. You can pass anything inside this quotes that will simply consider as a only string. It depends on syntax, not on the content. See, it is also successfully added.
Ma'am, difference between single and double quotes?
Both are same. Single quotes and double quotes both are to define a string only. There is no difference. You can take any kind of syntax to define a string, either single quotes or double quotes, your wish. Like this, I'm going to add this 34 by taking as a format of string, and I'm going to add with X. Now I'm getting APSDC 34. Like this, you can concat your data. Okay, let's define another variable again. Now I'm going to start my variable with underscore and ABC, and also 1, 2, 3. And I'm passing some kind of data here, like like your roll number, whatever you have roll number at the ending, you can pass it. I'm passing a underscore ABC 1, 2, 3 is 431. What it defines, when you see this data, what you can understand?
Integer data type.
Yes, it is an integer data type, and can it support when I define the variable like underscore ABC 1, 2, 3? Is that correct way to define a variable? When you have a variable like underscore ABC 1, 2, 3, is that correct way to define a variable?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes. It's a correct way to define a variable, and some of the members gives me like no. Why it is no? Before telling the answer, try to observe. You can define the variable with the help of starting underscore. That is also possible. We are already defined that constraint in the points also, in the point also. So here itself it starts with underscore, and it also combination with alphanumerics. So it supports the constraint. So if I run it underscore ABC 1, 2, 3, now you can get that data whatever we have. And if you want to know the data type that this variable having, how can you find out it? How can you find out that variable? I want to know this type of this variable underscore ABC 1, 2, 3 data type. I want to know about that. So you can use type function. Yes. So I'm passing type of this variable. Now you will get the type as integer. Why it is giving me as an integer? Why not string? Yes, 431. Whatever the data inside this variable we are assigning is an integer. This 431 is an integer data. That's why it gives me type as integer only. Okay. Can you understand this one? All of you respond me in the chat box. I'm just taking one variable with starting of underscore and with the combination of alphanumerics. And I'm assigning the variable with having data of integer. And finally, I'm going to find out the type with the type method. So it gives me as an integer. Now, if I want to add some data with this variable, like a 31. Can I add it or not? Is that possible to add 31 with that variable or not?
Possible, madam.
Yes,
But
because the
output appear
31 is a
4 3.
integer. Because that 31 is an integer, so we can concat or we can add this 31 into that with respect to variable because both are same data types. So now you can observe it can add this 31 will be added to the 431. So when you add 31 to the 431, we will get the result as 462. Okay. So now if I add some other data like 31, can I add it to this variable or not? If I add this 31 to this variable, can I add it or not?
Add it, madam.
No.
But
No.
no, madam, no. It's concating.
No. Can it concat
Yes, madam.
or do you get error? It's not going to concat because
No, ma'am.
in
No.
the variable we have integer, but we are passing a string data. A string data because it is in the form of quotes. Means we are not able to concat this string data with integer. That's why you will get one kind of type error again. Can you see? Unsupported operand types like integer and string. See, you can observe the error here, unsupported operands like integer and string. We are having the variable as integer, but we are going to add some string to this integer. So it's not supported, it's unsupported operand. That's why we are getting type error. Can you understand the difference now, all of you? Okay, good. Next I'm going to take some other variable. Suggest any kind of variable names. Can I take variable name like 1a? If I take the variable like this, can it support?
No, madam.
Why it's not support to define a variable with that?
Initially
Starts
using
with 1.
Yes, here if you see the variable is starts with a number. So it doesn't work when the variable is starts with the number. That is the error here. That is syntax error. That means we are having 1 as a starting. That is why it is considered it is not in a variable. It is a kind of operation or it's a kind of syntax error. Okay. So it means the variable cannot starts with number. Okay. And next, can anyone suggest one kind of variable name? Okay, B2. Where 1, 2, 4. Okay, I'm just taking one random variable. My file B2. All these are good. Okay. B2 equals to, I am passing some kind of float value. If I want to pass a float value, how can you represent a floating number?
Decimal point.
Yes, you need to pass a decimal point in between that, a point representation, so that the number should be as a floating number. So I'm going to mention 78.90. 78.90. So now, if you want to print that B2 having, you can pass B2. It will gives you the result and you need to find out the type. So for that you can pass type of B2. So when I pass type of B2, what it will gives you as a result? What does the B2 having? What is the data type we have in the B2? Floating. So when you
Float.
pass the type of B2, it will gives you float only.
Float.
Okay. And let's take some other variable like a underscore 2. A underscore 2. Here I'm passing the number with having. So how do you define a complex numbers? How do you define a complex number?
Real number
A,
combination with
Real
imaginary
part
number.
plus imaginary part.
yes. A number with a combination of imaginary. Yes.
Yes.
So I'm going to pass a number along with imaginary part like this. When I pass it, and if I want to find out a underscore 2, it will gives me the result. And I need to find out the type of the data having a underscore 2. So I can use type of a underscore. When I run it, it will gives me the data type that the A2 is having complex. Are you guys clear up to these data types? Respond in the
Yes,
chat.
ma'am.
Okay. So now, so up to now we are seeing storing the data with variables, and let's see how to typecast the data variables. Next is very important, typecasting. That means you need to convert one data type into another data type. Converting one data type into another data type. Okay, so that is what the typecasting is. So try to convert this cell into markdown. Yes. Now let's take one example. Like again, I'm going to take a variables like x equals to, let's take some other variable. A equals to, I have some integer a 12, and I need to convert this 12 into floating point. Okay, before that I need to find out this type of a. It will gives me as an integer because the 12 is an integer number. Now I need to convert this 12 into a floating point number. Can it is possible before converting? Just imagine yourself. Can it is possible to convert the 12 number into a floating point number?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, because any number can be converted with respected number formats. So you can typecast it. So for converting this 12 into a floating point number, let's make a comments. Convert 12 into float type. For that, you need to assign the data type what you have to convert. On which data type do you want to convert it? You can mention it on before it. So I want to convert that 12 into floating point. So I can use float of that variable stored, whatever the variable we have to define that 12, I can mention that variable. What is the variable we have here is a. So I can mention float of a. So that the data should be converted into floating point. So after applying that, so if you want to create a variable for creating this floating point, you can assign it, or else you can simply run it. Just try to run it. Now you can see this 12 number can be converted into a floating point along with a dot 0. Okay, dot 0. Otherwise, you can take some other variable like f equals to, I'm just taking a variable as f. I'm going to run type as print f and also type of f. Okay, you can pass the print statement like this also. Print f. So it will print the result of f, and if you want to know the type of that f having, you can use type of f by separating comma like this. Okay, try to run this cell. Now you can observe the print of f. The respected value of f is 12.0, and after that there is a class of float because we are going to find out the type, so that it will display the type is float. Like this, you can convert a integer data into a floating data. Okay, a integer data into a floating data. Like this, the typecasting is work. Okay, now is that possible to convert this integer data of 12 into string?
Does double quote doesn't require printf?
So you don't require these double quotes on the float. Then you can simply type of f. You can take any kind of syntax to display the output. That's your wish. Now that quotes is removed. At the first step, it will print the value of f, and the next step, it will print the data type of f. Okay. Now,
was possible, ma'am.
what?
Can we convert float to integer, ma'am?
Yes, you can convert it. So now let's see a conversion of.
I'm asking that it will move points, ma'am. That if we keep point in any in some other decimal place, will it move or it will be same, ma'am?
It will be moved. So see here also, if I take a floating, I need to convert float into integer. So let's see. So I'm just taking a manual data like f1 equals to some 34.56. Okay, 34.56, that is my floating number. I need to convert this 34.56 into an integer. So before that, I'm just printing the type of f1. Print of type of f1. And finally, I want to convert this 34.56 into an integer only, because it is a floating point. I need to convert that into an integer. So I can take some other variable like f2. f2 equals to, I can mention that conversion type here is a int. So int of f1. So now let's print f2 and also print type of f2. Try to run it. Now you can see the first. So here I can print f1 also for your case. So now you can observe this floating point number is printed for first this execution. For first print statement, we are getting the result as 34 point and then corresponding type, and then we are typecasting that float into an integer, so that I can mention int of f1, so that here the typecasting is done like float to integer. And I am finally printing the f2 and finding the type of that f2 also. So I am getting only integer part of the data only. Okay, whatever the points, whatever the number you have after the decimal point, that will be removed, and we are getting only integer part. Whatever the data we have before the dot, we will get that as a integer data only, so that we are getting only integer data. And finally, if you find out the type, you will get type as a int only. Like this, you can convert float data into integer. Okay, are you clear up to this converting float to integer? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you. So next, converting integer into string, and also vice versa.
I want to show the conversion of float to integer.
Yes, you can convert any data type into another. Can you you can convert complex into integer also.
String to integer, ma'am.
Then it will show only real part or both imaginary and real, no?
No, it will take only real part. Okay, let's convert integer into string and also string to integer. Let's try, is that possible or not? So now initially I am just taking x equals to some integer part, any value. Okay, and then I'm taking, I'm going to typecast it with the string. Okay, so let's see is that converted or not. For that I'm just taking y as my variable. To convert that integer to string, I need to apply that method here, str of x, so that the data of x is typecasted as a format of string. Okay, and finally I'm going to print y and type of y, and if you need to print it also for x, you can print it x comma type of x. Let's see, is that possible to convert this string into a to convert this integer into a string? Is that possible? Yes, right. We can convert integer into string by applying a quotes. It will be converted. That's it. So here also same operation is done. Let's try to run this. Now you can observe initially. So we are printing x and printing the type of x also. Initially this type is integer because x is having data as integer. And when I typecast this x to string, and when I print that print y and type, so I can get 3, 4, 5, 6, and the type is string only because it is a string data type. Y is converted as a string, so we are getting y value as a string format only. So when you print it, you will not observe these quotes on top of it. So if you want to observe it, you can simply print y. You can simply type y only, so that you will get a quotes on the top. Like this, you can convert integer into string. I'm taking a integer value in the x, and I need to convert this integer into string so that I can typecast it with str. And finally, I'm printing the type and also y. So when you print the y like this, then only you will observe quotes on the top. Otherwise, it will not display. But the defaultly, internally, it is in the format of string only, and you can observe with respect to type also. So when you pass type of y, you will get type as a str only. Okay. Is that clear all up to this? Converting integer into string. Okay, good. Now we need to convert string into integer. Now just imagine yourself, think yourself, is that possible to convert string into an integer? Can you typecast it? String into an integer?
No, ma'am.
Yes, I'm getting the responses like no, and I have one yes response, two yes responses. 3 yes.
If the string is in numbers, I think it is possible.
Okay, let's do it so that you will get more clarity, right? So try to do that. So for that, I'm just taking one random variable like q equals to, I have a string. So how can you define a string? You have to pass a quotes. So I'm just passing a random text like yes. Okay, and after that I need to print the data and also type the type of data. So I can give q comma type of q, and then I need to typecast it as an integer. So for that you need to take a variable your wish. I'm taking variable as r equals to. So variables are user defined. You can take any variables. That's your wish. That's up to you. So if you want to typecast it as integer, you need to pass it as int of and then q. And finally try to print of r and type of r. Now you will get clarity. What it is giving me? It is giving me is value error and invalid iteral for int with base 10. So that means we cannot typecasting this string into integer. We cannot typecasting. It is not possible. So when it doing, it will tells you that invalid iteral with base 10.
If
That
it
means
is
we
in
are
numbers, it
passing
is
string.
possible.
Okay, when it is numbers, it is possible. Let's see that also. If I change SS into 1, 2, 3, it will be possible. Because you can define the strings with combination of numbers also. So when you pass the string as a numbers, it will be possible to typecasting. But when you have string data only, it's not possible. Okay, try to keep the two examples. When
Hello,
you
ma'am.
take string, yes,
Hello.
tell me.
Please repeat this once again, ma'am. I didn't understand.
Okay. So when you take, so the agenda is to convert string data into an integer. So it is possible when you have a string data as a numbers, because we can define the string with the combination of numbers also. So whenever you have a data as a numbers, whenever you have a string as a numbers, so in such cases, you can easily typecast your string data into an integer like this. But whenever you have a string data like alphabets, it's not typecasted as an integer. That is what the difference here. Whenever you have a data, whenever you have a string like integers, you can typecast that string data into an integer by passing the int as a typecast. But whenever you have a string data as a alphabets, it's not possible to convert that alphabets into an integer. That is the difference here. Okay. So in Python, there is no double data type. Int to complex. Int to complex. Somebody asked me to int to complex. Let's see if I have x 12 into 2 complex. If I pass complex of 12, it will convert like this. Whatever the integer we have, that will be taken a real number. The imaginary number defaultly take as a 0. Like this, you can convert integer into a complex. Else complex to integer. Let's see. Int of, here I can pass 23 plus 67j. In that case, only this real part only getting, I think so. Can't convert complex into int. So it's not possible to convert complex into integer, but we can convert integer to complex. If I have 0, let's see. When you have 0 j also, it's not possible. See, basically you need to focus on typecasting for string to integer, integer to string only, because Python takes dynamical input as string only. So for that case, we can mostly focus on typecasting like integer to string, string to integer. So if you want to explain all those things like complex to float to string to complex, all these things, try to do your on yourself. And if you have a doubts, let's ask me in the next class. Okay, but main thing is you should know how to typecast integer to float and integer to string, string to integer only, because Python takes default input as a dynamical input as a string only. In such cases, you need to typecast it. Okay. Okay, that's it about the typecasting. And next, see variable assignment. Variable assignment. So you can take you are already seen single variable assignment. And the next one is multiple variables. Convert this cell into markdown and let's see. So we're already seeing single variable assignment. So for single variable, you can assign single data like x equals to 23 or y equals to or like some random data. So we're already seeing single variable assignment, right? So let's see multiple variable assignment. Like if I take a comma b comma c comma d, I need to assign a values for this. So like 12, 34, 34. So when you see this, you should know. So every variable is separated with comma and corresponding the values also separated with commas. When I type a comma b comma c comma d, the total variables are 4 and corresponding stored data is 3. When I run it, so what is the value that can stored by d? Can you tell me what is the variable data that can stored by d?
0.
0. Where does 0
0.
getting here? We are not defined 0 here, but how can you tell you that d having 0 only?
Default values. If we are not defining
Okay, if I
anything.
don't mention
You
anything
will get
here,
error, ma'am.
okay, if I don't mention anything, okay, if I don't mention anything, what is the value of a storing? Garbage value. Garbage value
I
means
think
0.
undefined, ma'am.
Yes, we are not defining anything. If I not defining anything, it's not taking any kind of garbage or 0. It is a user defined values, user defined variables. So user can only pass the data to store it. So you cannot tell that d is having 0 because it is a